During 2022, we're celebrating the 75th anniversary of the grand opening of the 4th Avenue Theater in Anchorage, Alaska on May 31st, 1947. Cap Lathrop made the opening of the 4th Avenue Theater more than simply the first time a new movie theater showed a movie. He made it a truly grand opening, a celebratory event for Alaska that Cap called a dedication. As he explained in the souvenir brochure he handed out at the event, this theater was built especially for Alaskans. It is the culmination of a sincere wish to bring to the people of Anchorage and visitors from all parts of Alaska a theater unexcelled on the American continent. Political leaders and celebrities were invited. The opening ceremonies included the Anchorage Community Chorus performing the Alaska's flag in a beautiful four-part vocal arrangement by Alaska pioneer Lorraine Harrison. The Al Jolson story was a film for grand opening. Cap referred to the opening of the 4th Avenue Theater as the happiest day of my life. Cap Lathrop began building the 4th Avenue Theater at age 76 and completed it at age 82. It reflects his extraordinary vision, dedication, and hope for the future of Alaska. A man of great industry and vision, Lathrop dedicated himself to helping develop modern cities of permanence and vitality in Alaska. It was his purpose and goal that led him to erect buildings that were designed by modern architects, buildings that were intended for permanence, buildings built with techniques and materials such as reinforced concrete that Lathrop believed and eventually proved to the skeptics could withstand the sometimes harsh and variable Alaska environment. Cap Lathrop's beautiful 4th Avenue Theater withstood the devastating 1964 earthquake, a symbol of the strength and survival of the city and the people who built it. As described by Allison K. Hoagland, commercial architecture began to lose its boomtown character as wooden structures were replaced by modern or Art Deco buildings. Concrete, which was mixed locally and fireproof, was particularly suited for these sleek styles. Some of the most flamboyant applications of Art Deco were movie theaters erected by Cap Lathrop, who had a chain across the state. The theater was designed by B. Marcus Priteca, a prominent Seattle-based architectural firm and leading designer of themed cinemas in America, in association with Seattle architect A. Porreca in the late 1930s. C. William Hufeisen was then selected as contractor for the construction. The world-class murals were designed, created, and installed by preeminent muralist artists of the A.B. Heinsbergen Company, A.B. Heinsbergen and his protégé Frank Bouman. The murals are considered historically and culturally important. For decades, the 4th Avenue Theater has been an iconic feature of downtown Anchorage. Completed in 1947, the 4th Avenue Theater is one of the last of the great American Art Deco streamlined modern cinemas built in the United States. Its architectural style and interior decor are archetypal examples of an important period in the development of an American style of architecture, interior design, and decor that came to prominence between the two world wars. It is said that in the 1920s, Art Deco represented luxury, glamour, exuberance, and faith in social and technological progress. In the 1930s, during the Great Depression, Art Deco gave birth to a spare and streamlined style called Streamlined Modern that reflected the economy and values of those times. These were American styles of design that in concept, form, and function embodied the characteristics of the modern industrial age of the 20th century that the United States came to lead. Powerful, inventive, efficient, streamlined, and with an understated elegance. The 4th Avenue Theater is a leading example of these quintessentially American styles of architecture, interior design, and decor. The Fourth Avenue Theater is reportedly the first venue where the Supreme Court of Alaska heard oral arguments after Alaska became a state. That is a testament to the common perception that the building was of such dignity and grandeur that it was appropriate to serve as the hearing room for oral arguments before the highest court of a state. The Fourth Avenue Theater is among the historical buildings profiled in Allison Hoagland's Buildings of Alaska. This book was among the first of a multi-volume series, Buildings of the United States, commissioned by the Society of Architectural Historians as part of a nationwide effort to produce a publication about the country's architectural heritage on a state-by-state basis. The foundation for selection of individual entries, such as the Fourth Avenue Theater, was in the nominations and surveys undertaken by state historic preservation offices and the National Park Service for the National Register of Historic Places. The Fourth Avenue Theater is on the National Register of Historic Places of the United States. It has been on that register for 40 years, since 1982. The inventory site nomination contains much information about the history of the building and its cultural and architectural importance. The Society of Architectural Historians has recognized the importance of the Fourth Avenue Theater in the history of American architecture and interior design and decor, describing in detail the building and the interior decorative work of A.B. Heinsbergen and Frank Bouman, calling it fantastic. The theater was built by Cap Lathrop as his legacy to Alaska. It is one of several Art Deco buildings in Alaska, but it is no doubt the more famous of this type of architecture for its connection to Cap and the architects and designers involved in the construction. It was placed on the National Register for Historic Places in 1982. The Fourth Avenue Theater, also known as the Lathrop Building, has been described as Art Deco, Streamline Modern, and Art Modern in style. It was built beginning in 1941 and completed in 1947 after a halt during World War II. Somewhat after the heyday of these styles, it was a large 960-seat first-run theater until the 1980s. The resulting high-fashion decor, particularly the plush interior, was and continues to be even more astonishing than was originally planned. The theater was designed by B. Marcus Priteca, a prominent Seattle-based architectural firm and leading designer of themed cinemas in America, in association with Seattle architect A.A. Porreca in the late 1930s. C. William Hufeisen was selected as contractor for the construction. The theater's lobby featured a gold-leaf mural of Mount McKinley, but originally omitted a concession stand, a feature Lathrop felt was inappropriate. The main house was decorated with silver and gold murals by Anthony Heinsbergen and Frank Bouman of Los Angeles, and a rendering of the Big Dipper, a symbol of Alaska, on the ceiling. The interior of Fourth Avenue Theater is a spark that brings the building to dramatic effect. The murals, a rich collection of prime Alaskana, provide an uncommonly handsome lining to the heart of the theater. There are 4 sets of murals, a huge floor-to-ceiling pair, which depicts the commercial and industrial growth of Alaska, helps to frame the stage. The lighting and seating of Fourth Avenue Theater are noteworthy. A casual look toward the ceiling brings into focus the familiar Big Dipper and North Star constellations, shining forth in a configuration of twinkling starlight. Additional lighting is provided by large, colorful glass baubles. Those large red, orange, and yellow globes hang about midway down each aisle. The seating is carefully structured in order to provide straight aisles and unobstructed sight lines for seated patrons, accomplished by providing love seats at the ends of alternating rows. As the Lathrop Building, the complex included facilities for Lathrop's radio and television stations, a restaurant, and a penthouse apartment added in 1959-1960. Construction of the theater was a culmination of a 25-year dream for the eminent Austin E. Lathrop. Cap, as the most prominent self-made Alaska millionaire pioneer of the 19th and early 20th century, was generally known had the intention of leaving the 4th Avenue Theater and Lathrop Building as his legacy to the fine people of Alaska. 4th Avenue Theater is considered by experts to represent the culmination of the Art Deco movement in the U.S. Skilled practitioners of the art honed down the showy nature of the 1930s, 50s fad style into a gem-like distillation of highest quality, beautifully integrated into regional motive and a great, exciting individuality, unsurpassed by any other known example in the Pacific Coast region. 4th Avenue Theater stands in testimony to Cap Lathrop, not as a monument to him, but as a monument made by him. Lathrop was visionary. His achievements in transportation, broadcasting, construction, and coal mining were instrumental steps in serving the territory from a frontier past towards a progressive future. The 4th Avenue Theater is a landmark in the transition of Anchorage from a frontier community to a city of permanence. It is a landmark in the development of a city in which families live, work, play, and die, as stated in an Anchorage Daily Times editorial after the gala opening. Preservation Alaska listed the 4th Avenue Theater as a #1 endangered historic property for 2022.